Hello, my galactic soul family. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hopefully this video won't be as long as my last one. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about empaths and Heyoka empaths. So before I get started, I just want to say that, being an empath is not a special gift. Okay? It's not a special gift that only a few of us have. We all have the ability to be an empath. We all have the ability to sense vibrations and emotions and energy. All of us have this ability. It's not a special gift that only a select few of us have. We are all able to do this. All right? Some of us are just a little more tapped in than others. We are all empaths unless, of course, you're soulless or you're an AI robot or something. Okay? Even children, this is annoying because I have children in my family. My kids have children that are on the spectrum. And people will say that children that are autistic or disabled or on the spectrum, I don't know, they keep changing the wording of how you refer to autistic children. I think it's kids that are on the spectrum. They will say, doctors, teachers will tell parents that their child shows no empathy. And they're literally just telling the parents, doctors are telling parents that these children, because they're on the spectrum or they're autistic, they're not empaths. They don't have empathy. I disagree. You don't know. You're not in that kid's head or body. Confirmation. Disabled children have empathy. Some just have a harder time showing it. They feel, they sense, they just articulate it in their own way. Whatever that way is, it's their own way. You are the one that is having a hard time picking up on what they're trying to show you, what they're trying to articulate. So yeah, I disagree when they say that autistic children don't have empathy. It's not that they don't have it. They don't express it the way that we're used to seeing people express themselves emotionally. Okay? They express themselves and they feel on a whole different level. Probably way more advanced than you will ever feel in this lifetime. Just keep that in mind. Now, there are different strengths that empaths have. And some of them are intuitive, some of them are emotional, some of them are physical, some are tuned into animals, more than they're tuned into people. I tune into both animals and people, but lately, because I've been hanging out with my cat and dog and the birds in my yard and stuff, I feel more tapped into nature. But it doesn't mean that I'm not more tapped into animals than people. But there are empaths out there that are more tapped into animals than they are people. And they can tell you exactly what those animals are saying because they're that tuned in. There's even people that are out there that are tapped into plants, nature, trees, the plants in their house, the flowers, the rose bushes. Okay? And then there's the Heyoka. The Heyoka. Some of us are just better at tuning into the energies around them than others. So you can practice tuning in to your surroundings, to energy, to emotions, to the people, animals, plants, the weather, You can literally tune into the earth, the planets, the moon. I think that falls under planets. I don't know. Am I scientifically incorrect? Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not here to be scientifically correct anyways. But you can practice tuning into energy around you by getting into nature and sitting alone and be quiet. Don't take your phone with you or put it on silence and just get outside. I mean, if you don't want to go outside, go to your bedroom, go to the living room, sit on the floor, turn the TV off, turn your router and modem, all that Wi-Fi stuff, turn it off and sit in silence and just listen to the world around you and see what you pick up on. Because we all have the ability to pick up on the energy around us. Just some of us are better at doing it than other people because some people are just more seasoned, I guess. Just more in tune, more tapped in. I've always been this way, but I do know that, you know, I've been around people that have not always, well, they claim they haven't always been this way, but I feel like they probably have. They just didn't realize it. And then when they started to practice, it just opened up for them. I feel like that's the case for everybody, honestly, because like I said, we're all divine. We're all energy. We're never taught on how to feel and understand and pick up on, you know, the energies that are around us. And it's kind of self-taught. And then you come across other people that talk about this differently and different techniques. And then you try it out, self-taught, and you learn from those people. So maybe some of you guys, by watching this, will learn from me because I'm self-taught and now you're being self-taught, and there's really no instructions on how to be a human. I mean, like, we all just kind of got to figure this shit out. I'm going to take it back to I am you, you are me. So ultimately, you're just teaching yourself anyways, right? It's just a different version of you learning the information from another version of you. Are you lost? If you're new to all this, you're probably lost. And that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you plug in and reconnect and not feel lost anymore. So we all have this ability to tap in and tune into the world around us. We all have different strengths. We all have different abilities, and you got to start somewhere. And the best way to start is by getting quiet. I like to get into nature. Get into nature, get quiet, meditate, do yoga, go for a walk, something that quiets your mind, whatever it is that you like to do. If it's yoga, dancing, walking, running, swimming, taking a bath, whatever it is that calms you down so that you can have peace of mind. Now, learning how to tap into energy doesn't just happen like that. Like, if you're a person that doesn't know how to do this and you go outside, I mean, you might just pick it up right away. Or maybe you won't. Maybe this is something that will take you a few days, a few weeks, a few months, maybe even a few years. But you won't know until you try. Also, side note, before I even get more into this video, I'm probably telling you this because I've been really diving deep into Ram Dass lately. And the more I dive into his material, the more that this really resonates with me is your identity. So also, by saying that you are an empath is you giving yourself another identity. Okay? We are all divine. We are souls having a human experience. So don't ever limit yourself. Okay? You're divine. Have all the experiences that you want to have. Don't limit yourself. Stop labeling yourself. Stop putting yourself in a box. Stop giving yourself, you know, labels and categories and identities. I mean, if you're going to give yourself an identity, play that role and play it to the max and have have fun with it, okay? But don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Just know that you are divine and you are not just one thing or another thing. And you're not limited to that thing. We are all, you know, here to have an experience. We just have different mastery skills of that thing. So just enjoy that thing, whatever it is. Okay? Stop with the labels. We got to learn. Even I got to stop and learn not to label and categorize everything. It's just something that we were programmed to do. And I'm unprogramming myself. I'm deprogramming, unprogramming, whatever. I'm writing in new codes, okay? And I hope that I can help you guys write in new codes for yourself too, so that you can go through and, you know, go through your glow up or your, you know, level up, or, you know, however you want to say it. So hold on. My computer seems dark, and I feel like it's because at some point I should probably just go plug it in, because I feel like it's going to die. I don't want my computer to die. I have another technical difficulty. If you watched my last video, you'll understand. Let me go plug my computer in, and then I'll be right back. I probably should have done this before I started recording. I'll probably edit this out anyways. Or maybe I'll just keep it and show you guys how real and raw I really am. I'm fucking real. Not perfect. I'm human. Just like you. Like every single, oh yeah, see? My computer instantly got brighter as soon as I plugged it in. It was probably on the verge of going noit. Alright, get comfortable again. Alright. So, let's get started. I needed that breath. So what is an empath? There's people out there that they don't know. You know, there are people out there, they just don't know what an empath is. An empath, a short definition. An empath is a person who is sensitive to the emotions of other people. And not just other people. Energy, the world around them. Animals, nature, the earth, everything. Everything. It depends on your mastery skills, but it's a person that is sensitive to the people around them and the energy around them. An empath can understand the perspective of people that are around them, along with, you know, what their emotions are and what their thoughts are, because they can pick up on them energetically. They're also called highly sensitive people. HSP. Generally, they can be described as compassionate and helpful to other people around them. But just because you're an empath and you're a highly sensitive person, and you come from the place of love, and you come from the place of light, it doesn't always mean that you are just beaming rainbows of love and light out of your ass. Okay? We're human. We're not always, you know, these rays of sunshine, sprinkles and butterflies. Okay? Because we're human. Some of us empaths, or some of us just in general, because we're not always just perfect, right? We're going through life and we're living life and we're dealing with real life situations. And then there's also the empaths that are out there that are really going through the darkness, not the dark night of the soul, just darkness. They're going through it. They're going through life. So they're not always going to be just super nice to you or super nice in general, because they're heavily guarded. And they're heavily guarded because they're protecting their energy. Because they've been through a lot, or they're going through a lot. And it's the only way for them to survive is to heavily guard themselves. So sometimes they have to like mean mug, not talk to you, be all chippery and happy. They're not masking to like get your approval for anything. They're just living their life and trying to get by and get through the day without having to get your approval, to make you happy, or to put on, you know, a mask and all that stuff. Super uncomfortable. So, I mean, there's more to what an empath is. I'm just kind of giving you like the short definition, the short run through here. So an empath is a person who has, you know, who carries the sensitivity, or who has the sensitivity to the pain of people. It enables them to process emotions with people that, you know, that they engage with. Most empaths carry those emotions for them, you know, for them, meaning the other people. When we're picking up on those emotions, some empaths tend to carry those emotions for those people, you know, and they do that because it's a way of them, it's a way for them to heal you. So they carry those emotions, I don't want to say for you. They kind of, well, maybe some empaths will carry those emotions for you, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't even carry them. Well, yeah, they can't carry them for you, but they should be able to carry them with you, but not absorb those emotions. So they should be carrying those emotions with you to guide you through, you know, the emotions that you're going through. And they should do this without judgment, and they should do it with love. But there's a lot of empaths out there that they don't even know that they're empaths, or they're unhealed. And when they're going through emotions with their friends or their family, and people are dumping all of their traumas and sadness and life negativities onto the empath, the unhealed empath tends to hold on to all that. And it's like, oh, like they get so like compassionate, and they carry so much empathy, and they become the emotion. They're holding that emotion and they're carrying it for you. And they shouldn't do that, because that emotion will become them and it will make them sick. If an empath is more seasoned, they can have that compassion and hold it for you and say, look at this. Oh, that's a tragedy, you know? I feel for you. I understand you. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel this way. And then they got to let it go. They can't keep it. They can't hold it for you, and they can't carry it for you. But they can guide you through it with love. Often they confuse these feelings with their own. Confirmation. A lot of empaths will confuse other people's, even aches and pains in their body. They will think it's their own. Just recently, the other day, I was sitting in the car and I was like, I was fine. Then all of a sudden, I had this like pain in my head, and it started like behind my ear, and I was like, what is that? That's kind of weird. Something is forming. And I was thinking to myself, is this mine? I've learned to ask myself this. What is this? Is it mine? Is this coming from me, or is this coming from somewhere else? As soon as I asked that question, my husband said, honey, I got a headache. And I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm picking up on his headache. My head is starting to, and I didn't even understand the feeling. It was weird. It was like something's here and it feels weird. What is it going to evolve to? If I didn't ask myself, I was going to get that headache. I was probably going to have a migraine and think it was mine and carry it all day and take care of myself as if it was my headache. It was his. As soon as he said that, I moved my body around. I said, okay, it's his headache, not mine. The pain went away. It wasn't mine. I sent him some healing energy, and then I put a block up and said I wasn't going to absorb any of his energy because I didn't want no headaches, no backaches, nothing new. So that was my reminder to ground myself, because I obviously didn't. You know, I have a hard time doing that every day too. I have to remind myself, ground yourself, shield yourself. Just because you, I don't even have them on, my crystals. Just because you wear crystals doesn't mean that you're automatically grounded. You're not. You have to actively ground yourself every day. And I have to remind myself to do this. I'm horrible at doing that. It's something that, you know, I should probably put a sticky note up in the bathroom. You know, when you're brushing your teeth, read the sticky note, brush your teeth, ground yourself. And I can ground myself while I'm brushing my teeth. You know, I have to do these things for myself too. Just because I'm sharing doesn't mean I'm perfect. Okay. So we do often confuse people's feelings and emotions, and we think they are ours, and they're not. We have to learn. If you're an empath and you're watching this, you have to learn to ask yourself, what is this? Is this mine? And then you have to learn to ground yourself too, actively. Make it a part of your daily hygiene. I'm guilty for not doing that all the time. I'm doing it better. I'm doing better at doing it now. But I still, I still forget. So you have to ask yourself, what is this? Is this mine? And once you ask yourself that, it will be revealed to you. At least that's the case for me. It's usually revealed to me. Something will show that it's not mine, it's that or theirs. So if an empath does not set boundaries and engages in self-care activities like grounding, meditation, energy baths like a sage bath or a salt bath, this can harm them. This can harm their mental health and exhaust them physically and emotionally. So we have to make an effort to take care of our energy body, not just our physical body, but our energy body too. Again, we were not taught this. So it's, you could be like 50 years old watching this and you're like, shit, this is new. This is a new hygiene habit that I haven't had to do for 50 years that I have to incorporate into my already busy life. So it can become a challenge. But if you are serious about your physical and spiritual health, then, this is something that you would have to be diligent. You have to remind yourself that you got to take care of this or that so that you don't feel like this or that. Okay. I'm just bringing it to your attention. It's awareness. So if you know the difference between your energy and another person's energy, you'll be able to help guide them through their pain, because most of the time people are sharing their pain and sadness with you, and you'll be able to guide them through their pain, their sadness, or whatever it is that they're sharing with you with love. Not always is it, and I know I just went negative Nancy and went sadness and, fears. I mean, there are people that like to share their happiness, and not all the time when people share their happiness, is it reciprocated back to them as, oh, I'm so proud of you, because so many people are haters. It's like nobody's ever proud of you. And when you share something that's exciting for you, you always get somebody that always has to say something negative. So when anybody is sharing anything with you, if it's any kind of pain or sadness or anything, even if they're sharing something that's exciting news, you can guide them through these emotions with love, because that's what people are looking for. When they're sharing something with you, they're looking, they're looking for a flow. They're not looking to flow and then hit a brick wall, right? Even though they may not know this consciously, their energy is looking to do this, not looking to do this. Okay. So whenever you're interacting with somebody and that you're an empath, try to guide them with love, because that love will heal them and they will flow through life riding the energy waves, happy, the vibration of joy, raising their vibration. You're helping them heal by guiding them with love, because you're ultimately just healing yourself. So Ram Dass says, having empathy for another means your heart is breaking because you understand the intensity of their experience, and at the same moment you are absolutely equanimously present, meaning you are resonating with them and you're doing it in a state of calmness. You're allowing that person to express themselves, either it be happiness or sadness. You're allowing them to express themselves. I know that I did say a moment ago the intensity of heartbreak, and you understand it. Like I said earlier, most people, when they're talking to you, a lot of people don't really share great news. A lot of people are always sharing something that is heartbreaking. But being an empath means you're a person, and I don't even know if it's every empath. I know there's different levels of empathy. There's different kinds of empaths out there. There is the intuitive empath, which for years I used to say I'm an intuitive empath, but really I resonate with being a Heyoka, which is very intuitive. And resonating with people so deeply, I feel like a Heyoka empath has been on a different journey in life in one lifetime. They've been on confirmation, maybe? They've been on multiple journeys within one lifetime. So I've been on multiple journeys within this lifetime. I wear many hats. I can relate with so many people about so many, 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 many different things. So many different things. Be creative. I think I explain it deeper within this video. I've been there. There are so many scenarios in this lifetime, and I'm only 44 Earth years old. And in 44 Earth years, I've experienced more than a lot of people. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, you should write a book. Maybe. I don't even know how. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I don't know if I'm meant to write a book. I like doing this. I feel like being a Heyoka empath, I'm able to relate with so many people that are going through so many different things in life because I have been there. I might have not have been there long, but I was there to experience that feeling, that emotion enough to feel it in your heart space and then just absorb through every cell in my body to grow from that experience. So I can help the next person that comes to me with that sort of emotion or that sort of pain or heartbreak within their life. And I'm learning to do this more calmly and hold space for them to grieve or share their heartbreak or even share their, exciting, happy, joyful news. If that makes sense to you. I hope I explained that right. I'm reading what I wrote, but I tend to go off what I wrote, and these are my bullet points, and then I just kind of add to it. So I hope that I hope that was relatable for somebody out there. As an empath that is aware that they are an empath, we should not be clinging to anything. Just watching the phenomena of the universe change. We shouldn't be clinging to anything. We shouldn't be judging anything. We should just be observing. Observing it. Feel it. Observe it. Let it go. Don't absorb it and don't become it. I feel like Ram Dass's message means to be present and allow the person to feel an emotion, and you should hold steady with compassion, like creating space, for the person to be able to feel without judgment. Observe with love. Don't absorb. It's not yours to absorb, so don't absorb it. It's not yours. Don't make it about you. It's not yours. Even though you recognize the pain, there is nothing you are able to do other than have empathy. Emotion moves like emotion. Energy in motion. Emotion moves. Allow space for it to flow. So when I think of emotion, think of energy moving. Energy moves. Emotion. Allow the energy to flow. And you can flow with the people that you're engaging with. It's like a universal dance. Our energies are always moving around. We just can't see them. We see like skin, hair. You don't see what's actually going on around. Well, maybe you do if you are skilled like that. But the average person just sees a person. You don't even see my light. Only a skilled person would be able to see my light and the energy and how it's just flowing and moving. There are many people in the world that are empathic. They have an empathic ability. And there's many different types of empaths. And one of them, like I just said, was the Heyoka. In my opinion, the Heyokas are, like I said, one that has been on multiple journeys in one lifetime, within the same lifetime. They are also the catalyst in their soul group. And when I say soul group, I don't mean like just your family of people that you know, but anybody that's in your soul family that's traveling and having this soul journey with you, whoever you have soul contracts with in this lifetime. So I feel like you are the catalyst for your soul groups, family and strangers or whoever it is that you come across. Heyokas, just to give you some backstory where this stems from, where it comes from. It comes from a Native American term that means a sacred clown. When I read that, I was like, I'm not a clown. Why would I resonate with a clown? I was like, I'm going to go back to calling myself an intuitive empath. And I was like, and then, like a version of me was like, okay, Gabbie, that's ego. Don't be like that. You didn't even read the rest, right? So then I continued to do more reading on that because I was like, well, I don't resonate with being a clown. That's absurd. Fuck that. I'm not a clown. I'm not a fool. So it really just describes people who detect and mirror the emotions of others around them. And I was like, and then I thought about that one, what is it? A mime? I don't know if I'm saying it right. The little clown people that don't talk and they just do this. Yeah. So I automatically thought of them. And, when I see them, they're mirroring people. That's what they're doing when they're walking around and you see them out in public, or if you go to a show that has them, those types of clowns are mirroring. They're not talking. They're like, they're observing you and they're mirroring you. They're mimicking you. They're showing you what they see, and they're showing you. And you're like, oh, that's me. And you either like it or you don't like it. And if you like it, you continue to be that. And if you don't like it, you're like, oh, that's how I'm viewed. I need to change. Does that make sense? Also, in Lakota mythology, Heyoka is also a spirit of thunder and lightning, which I really resonated with because I love thunder and lightning. Like, I am that person that will go outside and sit in a thunderstorm knowing that it's going to lightning, because I love the way you could feel the energies charging up in the air, and I feel it on my skin. It is such a rush. I know that it's so dangerous, and that, that's a great way to get struck by lightning. I haven't yet, and I don't encourage you guys to go outside and do that. It's just something I'm drawn to do. I love the wind, I love the rain, I love the thunder, and I love the lightning, and I love the way the air feels when it comes in. So when I read that in Lakota mythology, that it's the spirit of thunder and lightning, I was like, wow, that so resonates like deep within me, and it made me think about how I am during thunderstorms. So he is the spirit. He is said to use the wind as sticks to beat the drum of thunder. And I thought that was pretty cool. So Heyokas look at the world differently than most people do. And they think and behave against the normies, which I do a lot. It's like they're like rebels. They're like the people that are trying to wake you up, and they rattle you. They're like the people that poke the bear, and rattle your nerves, but it's to bring awareness to you. That's why. So Heyoka is also known as a pain eater due to the ability to absorb and cleanse negative energies around them. They can cleanse people with their abilities. That is so, so, so accurate. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get into this, and it'll make more sense when I get into it. A Heyoka empath has an awakened soul, and they try to wake up others as well as reach similar levels of enlightenment. And I was like, wow, like that is so me. that is like me to the T. Because when I was going through the beginning of my awakening consciously, because I feel like I've been awakening all of my life, I just never knew it. And I shared with you guys my story of waking up consciously. I don't know. The light is making me look like 70 years old, 20 years old, 7 years old, like bags and circles and wrinkles to looking flawless. Sorry. Ego trait of mine, Leo shit. I'll probably have to put a filter on this. So I just had such a Leo moment right there. But yeah. So that really resonated with me, because when I was going through the beginning of my awakening as, a Heyoka empath, well, when I was going through my awakening consciously, and then when I realized the different strengths of empaths, or different abilities that empaths have, or different types of empath that there is out there, the Heyoka really just resonated with me. I'm very intuitive. I'm very in tune. I've always been this way. I would pick up on people's energy, and I could feel their energy. I could feel when somebody's energy, when somebody's not okay. I was going to say I pick up when people's energy wants to shift and change. Meaning, I can pick up on a person that is going through something in life, and they're on the verge. Example. Somebody that is in a relationship and they want out. I can pick up on the shift in their energy, that they're going through something. It's hard on them. They're not happy. It's causing XYZ. And they're right there at the crossover to make a shift and change in their life to better themselves, but they're teetering back and forth. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay in this energy? Should I change my energy? So I can pick up when somebody's wanting to shift and change their energy. I can pick up that there is something within them that they want something better for themselves, and they're right there. And I can sense that. I could tap into people's unhappiness. And their urge to just want to change, to bring happiness within them. I can, even when people are masking and they're showing me like smiley face and being like, oh, what do you call those people that, people pleasers. Oh my God, people, I don't know, like I could pick, when people are people pleasing, those people are so unbelievably unhappy and they just don't know it. Don't come for me, okay, guys? Because you might be a people pleaser and might be like the happiest fucking butterfly floating through the planet. But most people pleasers are very, very, very unhappy, and they're just doing everything right to make everyone in their happy, or everyone around them happy. They want them to be, they're looking for somebody to be proud of them, to love them, when ultimately they just need to learn to love themselves, because that's what they lack, self-love. Okay? So I can sense when people want to change. I can sense their unhappiness. And it's just, I don't even want to say it's a curse. I don't even want to say it's a blessing. It's just something that I've always been able to do. Do I enjoy tapping in? No. Am I invading your privacy? No, because it's not even, it's just, it's, you're wearing this. It's like, you're wearing this energy like how you're wearing clothes. So I'm not invading your privacy. I can see it because you're wearing it. It's you. It's you. And now I can't even block that, because then I would be, I don't know. I feel like when I try to block seeing these things, it just dims my light. It makes me feel like low and unhappy. So I don't put a block. I don't know why people would want to. It's like saying that I can't look at people that are wearing short shorts because that's a violation to their privacy. I can see their butt cheeks. Oh my God, that's a violation. You're wearing it. I see it. Oh, I see it. I'm acknowledging it. Now, invading your privacy would be approaching you and asking you about it when you didn't tell me anything. Now that's different. That's an invasion of your privacy. You're wearing your energy like how you wear clothes. So, confirmation. I don't know, confirmation. So, I can tap into people's unhappiness and their urge to want to change, even when they didn't know it yet, even when they don't know it yet. And when I first started to go through my awakening consciously, I did invade people's privacy. Okay. And I did try to wake people up aggressively. I did butt into their life and say, well, I sense this about you. I could see it. And I would tell them without them telling me anything. I would just tell them. They didn't ask me. I was aggressive. I was butting into people's life, and I was aggressive about it. And, I just wanted them to reach the level of enlightenment that I was at that time, because I thought I was the shit. I was like, I learned this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was so cool because I thought this awakening was just so cool. And I thought that was it. And I was like, yes, I'm enlightened. I didn't know. This is a long, long journey, you guys. You think you're there, and then the universe says, nah, bitch, there's another chapter. It's another level. And then you got to level up again. But I've learned a long time ago that you cannot push your enlightenment onto other people. You cannot invade their energy with your knowledge. You have to allow people to come to you. And even when they come to you, you cannot be the person that heals them. You can only be the person that shows them, tells them, shares with them. You could be the catalyst for their change in their life. And that's what I am. I'm a catalyst. I'm a catalyst for change. And it was a long, hard lesson for me to learn by imposing my energy upon other people. and forcing them aggressively to feel enlightened like I was. And it came off as being pushy, egotistical, negative, and I rubbed people the wrong way. I ran people away from me. People didn't even want to be around me because I became a little weird too. It was like, oh, she's fucking weird. Yeah. See, I'm honest. So people perceive Heyokas to be highly, I don't even think it's just Heyokas. I think people can perceive any empath, but I feel like Heyokas, because they come off so aggressive. The way we come off negative, and we can make people feel anxious. We can make people feel a little uneasy being around us because they feel like we're reading them, we're invading their privacy, like we can see inside them or something. Like we can read all your thoughts, we know everything. I don't know it like that. I just know what your energy is. I can read your energy better than I can read you. Introducing yourself to me and getting to know you. I already know you. Before you cross the street and I lay eyes on you, I'm like, can't trust that person. Before you even start talking. My husband is like, oh, you're so judgy. You're always judging people. And I'm like, yeah, just watch. Give it a month. Give it a year. Everything I say will come to light. He's like, whatever. You think you know it all. Oh. 9 times out of 10, my husband says, wife, I should have listened to you. You were so right. And I'm like, I know, but it's okay. You'll learn. Even though he knows that I'm like this, we still have these conversations. And we still go through the same little routine. You think you know it all. And then, wife, I should have listened to you. I'm so used to it. It doesn't faze me anymore. I don't even get a reaction out of it. I'm just like, whatever. You'll learn. Maybe in your next lifetime. Maybe not this one. But yeah, I know people before I know people. I'm not bragging. I guess I'm just trying to really tell you that this is real. Getting to read somebody's energy, this is real. This is not make-believe. This is not woo-woo magic. This is real shit. It just seems odd because we were never programmed to think like this. We were programmed to think like little corporate busy bee workers, like little robots. Get up, take shower, get dressed, go to school, learn, come home, do chores, cook, clean, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again, or go to work. We're just programmed to be like this, and they don't want us to be like a rainbow. They don't want us to be like the wind. They want us to be like a robot. Walk in a straight line. If you have a question, raise your hand. You must get permission to use the bathroom to go pee pee. Like, fuck that shit. Like, I never see, like, I've always had this like rebel way about me, and that is like how Heyokas are. I feel like most empaths are like that too, but there are different levels of empaths, because there are some empaths that are, they know they're an empath and they think that the way to bring love and peace to the world is by being a people pleaser. But I feel like that kind of empath is just an unhealed empath. I have never come across an empath like that was healed. Well, I should not say never, but in my point of view and my perspective of all of this is that's how I feel. Like, there's just different levels to this. There's just different levels to this. Sorry to go off track here. So, Heyokas can make people feel very uneasy to be around. This is because a Heyoka is able to uncover a person's true self, including their hidden parts, like reading their energy. Now, this is uncomfortable for a lot of people. This is an uncomfortable experience for most people. It's not always comfortable for me, because sometimes I know sometimes your energy creates thoughts, and I can hear them. Now I can't hear it in full sentences, but I get little words and pictures from your energy. And if you're thinking something that is bad towards me, I pick up on that. And if you're thinking something that is I'm not good, but like not, what is the word? Not flirting, but if you're trying to be fresh like that, I can pick up on that too. You don't even have to say anything. I could see it. Your energy speaks. Not only can I see your energy and feel it and get a reading, sometimes your energy can create, like, well, our voice is an energy and it creates words, but there's energy that radiates around you that I feel like sometimes your body energy that's radiating can radiate with other different parts of you and create a storyline that I can see pictures. Sometimes I can even hear, unless I'm just confusing that with channeling and picking up on you and channeling your higher self. But that just goes to show you why people get uncomfortable, because, and not just why they get uncomfortable, why I would get uncomfortable, because I can pick up on things that I wasn't meant to hear or feel, but you're showing me, and you don't even know you're showing it to me. And then when they find out that I've been doing that this whole time, they're like, oh, damn. And they get a little, weird around me. I have friends that I'm actually really, 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 really close to today that knows that I'm like this, and they joke about shit like that. And I'm not the only person that can do this. There is a lot of people out there that are very highly sensitive people that can pick up on this. And we're not the only species that can do this. Animals do this innately. They do this. Horses, when you go to ride a horse, that horse already knows, like for some people, they know that you are afraid of them, that you're scared to be on them before you even get on them. And then while you're on them, they can feel your energy radiating in their body, and they get all like weird because they're like, oh God, this person is scared of me, and they don't know how to act. Dogs are like this. There's even bugs out. Bees are like this. Bees will sting you even if you're not doing anything. You're like, oh damn, I got stung by a bee and I didn't even do anything, because you're like, oh God, there's bees around me. There's bees. And then you get stung by a bee because that bee felt a threat, because your fear was a threat to them. So they went into like combat mode and you got stung. That's a perfect example, actually. So everything is energy, and I can read that energy. That's one of my abilities that I have, and I've always had in life. And the more that I work on myself, the more that I meditate, the more that I ground, and the more that I do shadow work, the better I get at reading energy, because I'm not only getting energy readings off of humans, I'm getting them off of animals, plants. I can pick up on the energy coming in from, the cosmos, if you guys follow me and you've been watching me for a long time, you guys know that sometimes I do readings. I'll tell you guys when a geomagnetic storm is coming in, and then 3 days later, boom, KP5. And I told you guys because I was picking up on it. I get these sensations in my body. I didn't know what they were, but I was journaling, and years of journaling, I put the puzzle pieces together, and I realized, oh, when I feel like this and like this, a geomagnetic storm happens. And that's how I know that I'm picking up on the energy from the sun, because I journaled and I got to know myself. You just got to get to know yourself. You watching this video right now may not even know that you have these abilities, because your brain is busy, or you weren't aware of it. But now you know, and it's something you could practice. So this is an uncomfortable experience for most people, and not just them, me too, depending on, the situation. especially if you bump into a narcissist. Now, a narcissist is a whole different beast, okay? If you bump into a narcissist, empaths in general attract narcissists into their life because we feed them, especially the unhealed empaths. We feed narcs, okay? So we're like crack for a narc. They crave our light, so we attract them. So it's having this ability is really good to keep narcissistic people away, but narcissistic people are very tricky, and they sometimes know how to trick an unseasoned, unhealed empath. I mean, I can't even say unhealed and unseasoned because I have been tricked, and I consider myself to be pretty seasoned. I'm not like the bomb, but I'm pretty seasoned. You know, I can pick up on narcissistic character before I actually get to know you. But I have been tricked. There are different signs of Heyoka empaths that, you know, make them different from others, from like a compassionate empath. If empaths were flavors, you would have the mild, medium, hot, and spicy. Now, the mild is the people pleaser one, that unhealed empath that I keep bringing up. That's like the mild, medium, okay? And the hot and spicy are more, you know, seasoned, more stronger in their ability, and they know more about themselves. They're more aware of their ability. Heyoka is, of course, the spicy one. They are the ones that break all the rules, and at the same time that they break the rules, they're still teaching lessons, okay? We're the rebels. We're the ones that come off strong. We're like the biker bitches of empaths. Like the badass. All right, just my perspective. I'm not being serious, you guys. So don't be getting all butthurt over here, okay? Because there's some people that are like, that's not politically correct. Okay, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm just trying to have fun with you guys. So a Heyoka empath can identify the feelings of other people. These people are able to instinctively identify the emotions of other people. They are aware of the right thing to say or do in order to help people process their feelings, and in some case, overcome those feelings. Now, the Heyokas, in my opinion, have been through so many relatable situations. Like I said a little bit ago, it's because we've been through so many things in our lifetime. We've walked so many different paths in one lifetime. So we've been through so many relatable situations. You know, we've gone through more dark night of the souls than the normal person would go through. And, you know, they can just relate to most people that they conversate with because they have experienced a lot in their current lifetime, from stuff like drug and alcohol abuse, drug and alcohol addiction, or any addiction. And when I say addiction, it doesn't even need to be drugs and alcohol. It could literally be food, sex, shopping, working, any addiction. Okay. Rape, breakups, domestic violence, working multiple jobs and having multiple jobs. For example, I had multiple jobs. I worked in an airport. I used to fuel airplanes. I also used to be that person out there flagging airplanes in to leave and to go. I worked in maintenance. My brother, that's how I started when I started out in property management, was working in maintenance, changing light bulbs. He taught me how to lay down floors, fix random things in apartments, renting apartments, cleaning apartments, having my own cleaning business, having my own t-shirt business, traveling up and down the east and west coast of Florida, having my own RV boat detailing business, Um, Mold and water restorations. When I met my husband, he couldn't believe that I worked for Rainbow International doing mold and water restorations. You know, demolitions in apartments, houses, tearing down walls, taking out all the mold and stuff. I've worked with my brother doing plumbing stuff. I mean, I've done a lot of shit. I've worked in the restaurant. I've worked in retail. I mean, I've done a lot of shit. I've done a lot of shit. I've been around, and I'm only 44 Earth years old. That's like a lifetime that somebody would have lived 44 different lifetimes, right? So yeah, multiple jobs, people that have issues with their family, and not just like their cousins, aunts, and uncles. I'm talking like their own children. Yeah, their own children, their parents, their siblings. Have dealt with disease and sickness and illness, financial stresses, being homeless. I was homeless once. I lived in Florida during those 3 hurricanes that hit back to back in like 2003 or 4, Charlie and all that. And 3 different times, the 3rd time I lost my apartment. I lost my job because we didn't have jobs. I didn't have an apartment because a tornado came. And the hotel I was in, while I was staying there, the roof of the hotel came off and they didn't know where to place people. I had a car, so I was just in my car, and we lived out of my car for a while. Me and my 2 kids. I was separated from their father, and me and my 2 kids, we lived in my car. And I don't know, I got through that shit. Yeah. So it's like homelessness. I've been there, done that. I can relate with you on that, you know? I wasn't there long, but I was there long enough to feel like, this affected me. I don't want to go through this again, you know? So I've been there. Divorce. Haven't been through divorce, but I have been through breakups. Long relationship breakups. Felt like a divorce. Loss of a loved one. Suicide. You know, trying to commit suicide. Knowing somebody that did commit suicide. You know, and the list just goes on and on and on and on and on, you know, just a lot of stuff. I'd be here all day if I kept listing everything that I've had a connection with or resonated with. So, you know, we are able to assist people on healing and assist people in identifying their own faults and weaknesses because we've been through that shit. We resonate with that. We have experience with that. We guide them to the path of improvement and growth. Sometimes we do this not even knowing that we're doing this. Sometimes we do this trying to get that person to recognize where they need improvement and growth. A few of these empaths are able to feel the emotions of strangers as well. It's not just the Heyokas. All empaths can just, in my opinion, all empaths have the ability to do all of this. It's just that there's different strengths in all of this. I know that I can feel the emotions of strangers, but I don't get all, I don't absorb it all. I see it, what they're going through. I can pass somebody on the street and just know that they're in a good way or a bad way. And I just pass them in either way, whatever way that they're in. I just send them love and hope that, while I'm passing them, there's something within my energy field that will fall off of me and go into them and code them in some way, in a positive way of, giving them some love in their life. In that love, like being a charge for them, an energy charge to get to lift their spirits, to continue to go on, and live their life in a more higher vibration. At least that's what I envision in my head. When I was living in New York City and taking the train, I shielded myself all the time. I was always shielding myself, covering myself up, guarding myself. I wore hoodies, hats, covering my face, and didn't want to make eye contact with nobody. I wore crystals, I wore headphones, I carried a book with me, and, I would just keep my hands in my pocket. But the reason why I kept my hand in my pocket is because I was like this, you know, pinching the side of my leg. It was like pinching my leg. And it was like a nervous tick because I was consumed. There was so much energy around me and I was just like, and it felt like torture sometimes. Not all the time, but a lot of the times it felt like torture, especially when you're on a crammed up train and you're touching people and you're like, oh my God, I'm really just mingling with this person right now. And in my head, if I wore the more clothing that I wore, I felt like in my head that as long as we didn't have like skin to skin contact, I felt like in my head, I'm blocking some of that energy. It's like kind of wearing a crystal to block off some of that EMF of entering your body. That's how I felt when I was around people on the train. And when I wore more clothing, I felt like that was like wearing a shield to keep some of their energy off of me. So I didn't get like an energy sickness. I know it sounds really crazy, especially saying this out loud. It sounds really like strange. I don't realize how strange I am until I speak out loud and do these videos. So I would keep my hands in my pocket sometime, and it's because I was pinching myself on the side of my leg or like rubbing my fingers together. And I realized that was a nervous tick that I had to keep myself focused, and it kept me calm. It was like a calming thing. I noticed I do this too when I'm in a doctor's office, because doctors are a trigger for me. And in the doctor's office, I move my foot or my leg and I bounce it boom, 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 up and down. And that's a nervous tick I have. It looks like I'm nervous, which I am, but doing this with my leg actually, it actually calms me down in a strange way. So pinching myself, moving my leg is a way to calm myself, and I always avoided eye contact. I always tried to avoid eye contact at all costs. And, the train was always just brutal for me. So sometimes I drove myself to work. Most of the time, I tried to drive myself to work so that I could avoid people, because when I got to work, I worked with people. Okay. I worked for Bronstein Properties and I did all the renewals for all 100 buildings, not 100 property, all 100 buildings that they owned at the time. I don't know what they own now, but I did all of their buildings, all the registration, the renewals for their 100 buildings in all the different boroughs. That was a lot. So my name, people were always coming at me all day long. So that and the train, that shit broke me. That's why I live here in the country. I needed to heal because that shit broke me. So at the time, I did drive myself to work as much as I could, to avoid as many people as I could at the time. But there were days that I did take the train because, driving in New York is insane. If your job is 12 miles away, it'll literally take you an hour and a half to get there because of traffic. But when I lived in Manhattan, it just didn't make sense to drive. It made more sense to take the train, even though I think I had to take like 4 of them and it still took me an hour. But if I were to drive, I probably would have gotten there in 3 hours. It's just crazy. That's how much traffic. Traffic is nuts. I hated the traffic. But when I lived in Queens, I lived in Far Rockaway and I worked in Forest Hills. So driving was okay. Taking the train was okay. Both probably took about an hour. But there were times that I liked to take the train from Far Rockaway to Forest Hills, is because I liked the first train that I took, which when you crossed the Cross Bay Bridge, I think that's what it's called, the Cross Bay Bridge. And I just liked going over the water. It was just so pretty. So going to work early in the morning and seeing that was so beautiful. And sometimes getting out of work and by the time I'm getting home, seeing the moon in the sky over the water, it was just so calming and so pretty. And it was never packed. That train was like never packed. So I didn't mind that one. I know that's a little off subject, but just so you can relate with me, to know where I'm coming from, how energy affects me. That's why I'm sharing all of this. Maybe I'm oversharing, but hey, that's me. Most empaths, they can detect a liar, and I can't stand a liar. So that's probably the first thing I detect in somebody is, it's the bullshit meter. Confirmation, the bullshit meter. I feel that is a trait that all empaths have, but I feel like it's one of my strongest ones that I have, just because liars, I just don't like them. I don't think anybody likes a liar, but for me, a liar is a trigger for me because I've been lied to like my whole life, you know, from being a child to an adult. And I just don't like the way that makes me feel. So it's like one of the first things that I check off. Like, are you a liar? No. If you ever lie to me, you know, boundary, big boundary. Remember when I said if empaths were flavors, mild, medium, hot, and spicy? Well, a Heyoka is spicy, especially when they detect a liar. I'm pretty spicy when I detect a liar. I'll call you out. If you're a liar, I'll call you out. I won't let you bullshit me. I just call you out. You know, I call it as I see it. Call bullshit. So I feel that a Heyoka empath can instinctively figure out who is lying to them, and they will let it be known. At least I'll let it be known. Most empaths are able to see through the bullshit anyways. They're able to see through the facade of people, and you know, who act nice and friendly and who have ill intentions and you know, stuff like that. I feel like that's just a trait that most all empaths have built into them anyways. At least that's how I feel. I don't know, you guys tell me if there's any empaths out there. Is this like your strongest trait of being an empath? Like your bullshit meter? You can detect a liar from a mile away? Because I can. I just call them out on it. I feel like a mild empath is like passive aggressive, and the medium, hot, and spicy are the ones that would tend to call out a liar. The mild one is that people pleaser, so they're not going to call you out because they want your approval. They don't want you mad at them, so they'll just let you keep lying. They just go along with it, even though they know you're lying. They just go along with it. I feel like most empaths, they just know who's sincere to them and who's not, and they know who's trying to manipulate them or deceive them in any way. I feel like that's just like, again, a trait that empaths have. They can see through it, the lies. I can pick up on your energy, so I know you before you even speak. Your energy says it all. So don't lie to me. Don't bullshit me, because I already read you before you opened your mouth. Heyoka empaths are, in my opinion, a smooth operator. They're aware of the powers that they have, the power of Gab. They have the power of Gab and the power of humor. Yeah, they use humor. They use talking and humor to navigate through conversations with people, to break the ice, to change the subject. They're good at that. And they know that they're good at it. So they'll crack a joke here and there, and they'll talk, and they know what to talk about. And they just talk. The power of Gab. And they're not afraid to play along with people. They're not afraid to bullshit a bullshitter. You know, power of Gab. You know, sometimes you just got to get through a conversation or get through a night out with, you know, the girls or your husband or your wife. And sometimes you just got to deal with the company you were dealt. Yeah, they just kind of play along. So when they're bullshitting a bullshitter, I feel like that's a reflection anyway. And Heyokas are mirrors. So that's what they're doing. They're reflecting. So they're just reflecting back to you. We're mirrors. Also, humor. I think that's a trait that a lot of empaths have. They have humor. It's just some have more darker humor. I have more darker humor. I come off as a spicy person. I swear, you know, I curse, I swear. I make vile jokes and I laugh at them. But I mean, like, that's me. I feel like that all empaths use humor, but there are different levels of humor, and I'm not that PG-13. I am more rated R, and that's just me. You either like it or leave it, and if you don't like it, oh well. And if you like it, that's cool. I don't care either way. So yeah, I feel like that's not just a Heyoka thing. It's it's an all empath thing. So they use humor, and humor can lighten any situation. And as for me, I'm not afraid to use humor, especially dark humor, to break the ice or approach people. A lot of us empaths will use humor to approach people, to talk to people, to make them feel more comfortable. And, this just humor helps people to open up. If you can get somebody to laugh, you can get them to trust you, because if you get somebody to laugh, it's like breaking a little bit of their trust barrier, and they feel as if they can approach you and trust you, even if it's just a little bit, to conversate with you. So humor is always a good way to break the ice. This also allows the healer, the empath, to identify a problem by using humor, because that's how we get you to open up a little bit. We use humor, so you can feel, you can feel some trust to open up, to, tell us your problems. If you are paying an empath to heal you, of course, to do energy work on you. That's what I'm talking about at this point. So if you're paying somebody to be like your life coach, spiritual life coach, to do some sort of energy healing on you, you may notice that your energy healer may crack a joke in the very beginning to break the ice, to get you to feel more comfortable, so that your empath or your healer, your energy worker, can identify with you and what your problem is, and you feel open enough to share your problem, and it helps them to observe the emotion of the person that they're working on. And this is how this is one of the ways that we help to heal other people. I consider empaths to be organic healers. We do it without even trying. We're just doing it. I could be checking out my groceries at the grocery store, and the person behind me will just start talking to me because they feel comfortable enough to open up to me and tell me that they just got a divorce, they're going through this and that, and just me listening to them was enough to heal them so that they can get through the rest of their day, because I was a stranger. They felt comfortable to tell me their problems. I didn't judge them, and they got that off their chest. And now they're able to go out and do the next thing in their day, feeling good, because they still feel like their vibration was lifted a little bit. So they feel good enough to go out and do something else in that day and feel good about themselves. Like, I raised their vibration. I'm coding them. I healed them for that, even if it was for just a moment. I healed them at the grocery store. And we do this without even trying. And honestly, that's draining. That's draining for us to heal other people without us even knowing that we're healing. Me doing this video might be healing to somebody out there, to many of you out there. And I might not even know that I'm healing you. But I tell you what, by the time I'm done doing this video, my little happy ass will be sitting on that sofa, laying down, doing some breathing exercises. And then I'm going to turn the TV on and watch a funny movie. And that's how I'm going to recharge myself. Because this is draining. But I enjoy doing this at the same time. If an empath does energy work for a living, they must always be protecting themselves. So, and I'm sure that if there's energy workers that are doing energy work for a living, they know this. It's like energy work 101. But if you are considering becoming an energy worker, just know that you will have to protect your energy at all costs, or this will run you into the ground, literally into the 6 feet into the ground. It'll make you sick, emotionally and physically sick. Confirmation, because I just checked and that text message is spam. Empaths have a tendency of interrupting people. I'm almost done, guys. Empaths have not, this is just not a Heyoka thing. This is an all empaths thing. All empaths have a tendency of interrupting people, in my opinion. Just got to throw that in there, in my opinion. When they're talking to people, especially if they're in a group setting, they have more of an urge to interrupt people in a group setting. Now, I identify as a Heyoka, and I tell you what, Heyoka's spicy. I'm spicy. I have a bad habit of doing this, of interrupting people all the time, not even just in a group setting. I could just be having a simple conversation with my husband, and when he's talking, I will interrupt him. It irritates people. I know it does. And I apologize. I have a bad habit of doing this. It irritates most people that I talk to, and I don't mean to do it. I am aware that I do it, and I try so hard to not interrupt sometimes. And when I do, I stand back. When I try not to interrupt, I stand back. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to wait my turn. But when I do that, I lose the momentum. And then I just become bored. I become bored of the conversation. I become bored of the situation. And then I just want to like mosey off somewhere else and do something else and talk to someone else or something. I just become bored, especially the group conversations. That's the ones that I can mosey away from, because people, I don't know, walk away from you if we're having a one-on-one and, give me my, I don't wait my turn to reply back to you. I'm just not going to walk away from you. But when we're in a group setting and everybody's like chit-chatting around and everybody's like, blah, 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 and I try like not to interrupt because there's already people interrupting, I lose the momentum, and I lose interest and I walk away. It's just like, all right, I'll let them have it. I'll let them have the conversation. Find another one somewhere else. Find another one to have, or I'll just be like, didn't want to lose my energy over that anyways, So I just move along. It's because empaths are high energy. Even if they seem like they're low energy people on the outside, they're high energy. Like their brains are like going a mile a minute. Not like they're overthinking and that they need to meditate or anything. It's just that they're just picking up on everything. The energy, within and around a highly sensitive person is just, it's kind of like energy going through a power line. It's constant. It's just constantly flowing. That's how highly sensitive people are. It's constantly flowing at a fast pace. And, in my opinion, they can lose interest really quick because it's exhausting to lower your vibration. And now this is my opinion. For me, it's exhausting for me to lower my vibration, to communicate to people that are not highly sensitive. They become boring to interact with. And that's the truth for me. They become boring to interact with. It's like they can't keep up. It's like being a rabbit in a race with a bunch of turtles. And it's no fun. It's no fun. I have a hard time processing and, dissecting each emotion. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't have a hard time processing and dissecting each emotion. I have a hard time, let me reword that. I process and dissect the emotions at such a high speed that I feel it and I recognize it, and I don't necessarily want to absorb it and or become that emotion. So I see a lot of people that I conversate with, especially the ones that are not highly sensitive. Somebody that is not a highly sensitive person, when they're stuck in an emotion, they become the emotion. They become the sadness. They absorb it. And I've been there, and it nearly killed me. So I don't want to go back there. So when I'm having conversations with people that are just dragging it on and being the emotion, and that's all they want to be is that emotion through the whole conversation for the whole evening, I lose interest. Because I want to move on to something else, or I want to put my 2 cents in, or I want to share, and I want to evolve from this. I want to heal you from this. And I also don't want to be in this because I don't want to get sick from this. I want to be healed from this too. I don't want to go back there. I've been there. Remember, I've been through multiple journeys in one lifetime. So I feel like I've moved on. So I either change the subject, interrupt, or I don't like to associate with people that are like low vibrational, that want to be the emotion. So I move on. It's because I recognize the emotion, or I recognize the energy. And once I receive it, this is why I would interrupt if we're all talking. Once I receive it, I want to say something about it so that I can move on from it, because I've already seen it, I've already dissected it, I've felt it, and now I just want to kind of, put my 2 cents in, talk about it, get you on a path to healing so we can move on and talk about something else. That's my thought process. Sometimes that's not consciously my thought process. That's just how my brain works in general. I want to push people through the feelings without absorbing their feelings. However, by doing that, I'm failing to allow that person to process it. Like I said, some people become their emotion. They want to be that sadness, and I don't want to be there with you. And in the past, I would push people past it, and try to have them understand why they should get past this. But by doing that, I don't do that now, but back then, I used to do that. By doing that, I realized that that person needs to feel that emotion. That person needs to learn, and I'm interrupting the learning curve, or the learning process. I'm trying to curve them through their process. And I'm interrupting that learning process for that soul by forcing them, or trying to get them to move through an emotion quicker than they're moving through it. Because I've already been there, done that. And some people, they need to be that emotion. They need to go through the emotions to learn. And I have a tendency to want to move from it quickly, as if the person that I'm with, they should do that too. But they're not going to grow or learn from anything if they don't feel that emotion and go through everything that emotion makes them go through. Even if that emotion makes them go through an illness within their body and gives them, God forbid, cancer. They have to know why they got that cancer, and they have to go through the learning process. I can only bring awareness to them, but I cannot heal them from that unless they want to be healed from that. And they have to for themselves learn to observe situations, feel, but not absorb, and not be that emotion, not be that sadness. But I mean, if you're going through something heavy and you lost somebody that you love, like there's a woman that lost her child, and she's still processing. And there are some people that are like, I can't believe she's still processing. And there is no time limit on mourning, right? Now I get it. You don't want to be that sadness. You don't want to be that pain, but that sadness and that pain is something that she needs to be and feel for as long as she needs to be and feel it, so she can learn. Maybe that's her destiny. Something's going to come out of this, and she's going to grow from this, and she'll be a teacher for somebody else, or maybe this is going to open up something within her for her future, for her journey. So I had to learn to stop pushing people past stuff that I've already been there, done that. And, that's a fail on my part, because they need to go through that so that they can learn in life. So, for instance, my husband will show me stuff, right? Or share with me something that's extremely sad. And he feels sometimes, because I don't become the emotion. So when he shows me something, and sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. or yeah, that's, well, you know, I don't get invested, like really invested, like, I don't even want to say what, because I don't want to be judged, but, fuck it. Like the school shootings, like, yeah, he'll show me that, and he'll show me like these gory pictures, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And he'll say something like, well, it's just because that's not your kid. No, that's not the case. I just don't want to see the gory stuff because I don't like the way it makes me feel. You know, I already understand what happened, and I don't need the actual images to show me what happened. I've already processed all of that, and like, that's a messed up situation. I don't need to be like really sad and process and go through every emotion and pain that every single parent that lost a child had. I don't need to go through every parent and go, oh, I wonder if this one's, oh, I wonder if she feels like this. I wonder how she's living and survive. I don't need to do that to have compassion. I see it. I send love to them people, light to the souls that are traveling on to the other side. And I just process differently. I don't become that sadness. I understand that we're in a duality, that really fucked up shit happens, but there are things that happen for a reason. I know some of you may not want to hear that. And again, my husband would say something like, you're only saying that because that didn't happen to you. And if that happened to you, would you still feel that way? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I would be hurt. I would go through my own emotions, I guess. You're right. I haven't gone through that in this, 44-year journey that I'm going through so far. And I hope not to have to go through that on top of everything else I went through. I have compassion for what they went through. And there's just so many other factors that go through my mind. And I just don't want to read into everybody's energy and feel all that, because honestly, it's just exhausting. I already know that they're sad and heartbroken. I don't need to feel every little morsel of heartbreak to show you that I care. Maybe I should have just said that in the first place. That was much easier. But yeah, he just feels sometimes that I'm emotionless, and it's not that I'm emotionless. It's just I process differently. He fails to see or feel what I really feel deeply, deeply. So I choose what I want to feel and see. And seeing people murdered or mutilated or suffering is something that I push past and, come off cold, because it affects me differently. It affects me longer, and I don't like the way that it affects me, and it just lowers my vibration, and I don't need to see that visual to get a reaction. You don't need to show me something to get a reaction out of me. And I don't need to prove anything to anybody anyways, no matter who you are. You can be my husband, you could be my mother, and I process differently, and that's just how I am. I don't mean to come off cold. I just process differently, and you don't know honestly what's going on inside my head. And you're showing me those pictures, and I'm healing myself. I'm like scrubbing my brain clean from that image, because I don't want to be traumatized by those images, and also sending love and light to the families and to those kids, and to the people that are looking at those images, bringing fear into them, because they shouldn't be even showing gory pictures anyways. I mean, I understand why maybe they would, but it's traumatizing, and we don't need more trauma and chaos on this planet, right? Just my opinion. So yeah, I come off a little bit cold, but I don't mean to be cold. But if you're not an empath, I guess you would read me as cold, I guess. Another empath would not read me as cold. I feel like another empath would pick up on my energy and just be like, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. So I know the world is not a nice place, and I do not choose to absorb sadness. I acknowledge it, and at the same time, me just acknowledging it looks like that I just really don't care. And I do care. It's just that I'm not caring, I guess, in the way that some people want. They want me to show a physical care, like maybe create a tear or something. I don't know. That's just not me. But in reality, I have to remind myself that this is how most people learn and level up. And this is how most people process the world. They have to be the emotion for a little while to grow from it, if they grow from it. Not everybody grows from it. So conversating with me can feel selfish at times on my part. I really don't mean to interrupt people when they're talking. I don't mean to lose interest. I don't mean to come off as cold. I don't even get overexcited. Like, I'm underexcited. I don't get overexcited, you know, so I'm just kind of like calm. You know, I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. You know, I come from a place of love. I'm just calm about it all. So I don't get overexcited either. You know, unless I'm invested in something, unless I'm emotionally involved in the conversation and I'm totally invested in, you know, there's certain, you know, there are exceptions to the rule, but yeah, you know. So yes, I struggle with waiting my turn in having conversations, and especially in group settings, as I feel like most empaths may also struggle with that. But it's only because our mind is going a mile a minute. It's working and processing at such a high pace. We are not just processing you and the words that are coming out of your mouth and the conversation, what we're talking about, but we're tuned into the memories that are projecting from your mind as you're talking and sharing your story, your energy, your body language, the tone of your voice, the subject matter of what we're talking about, and how it makes you feel at every millisecond that you open your mouth and a word comes out. We're processing all that. We're also processing the people that are, if we're in a group setting, the people that are in the group setting, we're also processing, you know, how it's making them feel. And we're just hyper aware. We're hyper aware of the setting that we're in the location that we're at. And we're scanning the room for safety. We're scanning everything around us. We're picking up on everything around us. If there's fluorescent lights, we're picking up on that. If they're buzzing, if they're burning our skin, if they're causing some sort of strange reaction. If there's blinking lights, if you're in a club and people are trying to talk to you and those strobe lights are going off, that's like, I can't do the strobe lights. But that overstimulates me. But there's a lot of things that will overstimulate an empath. So when they're trying to have a conversation with you, they're just dealing with so much and they want to put their 2 cents in, but they don't want to forget what their 2 cents are. And there's just a lot going on. So, and they don't want to lose the momentum. And we're just processing so much at that moment because it just, you know, it comes and goes. Energy moves fast for us. It just comes and goes. And we just want to move on to the next thing, the next energetic, you know, signature in the room or whatever. You know, we're fast paced and our thoughts are fast and everything about us is fast. We pick up, we perceive, and everything is just quick. It's like that. Some people say, you talk fast. And I thought it was because I'm from New York and I thought New Yorkers talk fast. But I also think it's because I'm just processing fast. You know, highly sensitive people process fast. And a lot of people that are empaths that I talk to, which are a lot of people, because everybody's empathic. Everybody's an empath. Some people, they just don't know it. There's a lot of people I come across that talk really fast. But I'm not saying that all empaths are like that. But a good majority of them, they think fast. They process fast. Energy is just moving. Everything is quick. And this is most definitely why we are exhausted in a group setting, because of all that. We're in tune to everything I just said. So we interrupt because we want to express what we feel immediately due to the fear of forgetting anything important. So I'm sorry. If I've offended you, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. So our focus is on pushing thoughts into verbal expression as soon as possible. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I'm losing my voice. This video is long. Now, I'm not always this rude, right? Over the years, I've learned to adjust my energy and dial it down a few notches so that I can appear normal. You know, I tone it down a little bit so I can vibe with you guys. So I can appear normal to be like the normies, you mortals, all you mortals out there. Just kidding. I'm mortal too. Just no, I'm mortal. Like in the skin suit, but I'm actually immortal. Just to let you know. Yeah, I'm weird, I know. So, you know what we're really awesome at? I gotta drink water. I'm losing my voice. Empaths are really awesome. Well, Heyokas are really awesome at reflections. A Heyoka empath is a good emotional mirror. This means that we can detect the emotions that you are feeling and mirror them back to you. When we reflect back, it helps you understand yourself better and feel more self-aware. You may even discover a new side to yourself. When you're healing with a Heyoka empath, you may experience a lot of new things about yourself. But if you are a narcissist, you're not going to heal or learn anything about yourself, okay? If you're a narcissist, you will be triggered a shit ton of the time that you're communicating with an empath, especially a Heyoka empath. They will, a narcissist, most narcissists lack empathy. They will not interrupt you in a conversation, but they will monopolize the conversation. Big difference. They boast. They do not aim to heal. They don't care about healing. They aim to feed ego. And they feed their ego by you. They do not seek out healing. They do not think that they have anything unhealed. They don't think they have to heal anything. If you're an empath and you're talking to a narcissist, they will eat you up like a snack. You will be a snack attack if you bump into a narcissist. You will be their snack attack. Especially if you are an unhealed empath. They will eat you up. They will feed off of you. And they will feed off of a weak empath. Most empaths that are in a relationship are in a relationship with a narcissist. Can you wrap your head around that? It's crazy. Even though they know about this, narcissists are clever. They feed off of a weak empath. The ones that want to heal people, those empaths. The people pleasers, those ones. The empath that says yes and not no, the empath that struggles to set boundaries. You are a narcissist's snack. Like they look for you. They settle for you. They wine and dine you. They trick you. They wear the mask. Everything. They act. They pretend until they get you. Them narcissists. Yeah. So empaths, we got to be careful out there. And I should not say only weak, unhealed, because, you know, the spicy ones like us, the Heyokas, you know, we get fed on too. We get tricked too. We're, yeah, a little bit harder, but we fall for it, you know, and I know from experience, trust me, I know from experience, you know, but I am careful when I meet new people. And I learn how to pick up on people's character traits. I don't get it 100% right all the time, but I'm 99.8% right most of the time. I can pick up on people before I get to know them. You know, you guys know that. I've already said that like 100 times in this video. Empaths have a tendency to identify the underlying personality of people. I could see through their character. I can just see through their character. I told you that in the beginning of the video. I can see through their character and I can figure out whether I can trust you or not trust you. We as in us empaths, we instinctively just know if we like you or we don't like you, because we can read you before you even speak. When people talk to empaths, they experience new versions of themselves. That's why empaths are great healers. We create a visual for you when you talk to us. I don't know if this is a strength for every empath, but I have witnessed people envision new versions of themselves when I'm talking with them and sharing and being authentic, with them. And then they're authentic with me, and we kind of show each other, that we could trust each other while we're engaging in conversation. And I create space to allow you to feel. I just don't absorb, your emotions. I'm observing them with love and sharing my experience with you. And that's how most people heal, is through my experience of sharing. Of course, you have to do the work yourself, but you have this awareness of how to do that work for yourself so that you can heal. So we show people the light, and something within them just activates. And this could be life-changing moments for most people that are communicating with empaths. It enables people to figure out who they are and what they want from their life. It also helps people to find out what they need to do in order to grow as a person. Now, empaths are very creative human beings. We are open-minded, we're accepting, we experience a rapid flow of ideas constantly when we're creating, because we are constantly creating, constantly creating. Because constantly have energy just flowing through us. So these ideas are usually, when we want to be creative, the creative ideas that we get, usually for me, they just pop up out of the blue. I could literally just be like watching TV, and then boom, I get an idea where I want to get up and go make fairy jars for no reason. And I just get creative, and doing that creative, skill, or whatever you call it, being creative in the moment, it allows me to feel joy. I feel calm. And I give these, I do sell them, but there are ones that I do make that I go out and I give to people that I know are going through something in life, and it brings them joy. And it makes me feel joy to create it, knowing I'm going to give this to this person because this person is sad or going through XYZ, and I want to raise this person's vibration. So while I'm creating, I'm putting a lot of love into what I'm creating, because I know I'm about to give this away for the ones that I do give away. And also creating something and being creative, painting, doing jars, meditating, whatever I'm doing that's creative, it calms me. It has a healing effect for me. Like how a cat purrs when they're content. That's how. Sorry, I had to re-record the ending of this video because I had some technical difficulties. I didn't realize I had these technical difficulties until I did the playback on my original video. I left off, I believe I was talking about being content like a cat when a cat purrs. Being creative for me is like a cat purring. It calms me, and I feel content with life. I believe I was referencing to problem solving and coming up with unique ideas. And when I'm in my creative mode, that's when I come up with the most unique ideas, and I'm able to problem solve. And when I say problem solve, I'm talking about, the things that we as adults deal with in our everyday life, running a home and living life as a responsible adult. So that's what I'm talking about when I say I come up with solutions to problems, just everyday stuff that we deal with. And the best time to come up with those solutions is when I'm, in my creative mode, and not just creating, making things, painting things and stuff like that. even when I'm being creative doing yoga. I know it's so random because when you're in yoga, you're in the moment, you're focusing on your breath, and then boom, a unique idea comes up, or boom, you know, your problem solved, an answer, just a solution to the problem just randomly appears. And that also happens when I'm gardening and when I'm in the shower. So as an empath, if you are my friend or an acquaintance or somebody that I hang out with, I want you to know that if you are in my presence, I will mirror your emotions back to you. As a Heyoka empath, that's what you'll get being in my vibration, mingling with my vibration, being my friend, being related to me, being an acquaintance to me, and hanging out with me. Sometimes I'm doing it and I don't even know I'm doing it. Most of the time, actually. I've had people in the past that reached out to me to ask if they could hire me to work with them, to do energy work with them, to heal them as a spiritual coach in a way. You cannot hire me. I am not for sale, but I have done work with people by donation only. So I have done work by donation to work with people as a spiritual coach to help them identify, their emotions and how to process their emotions and discover their weaknesses and, flaws and stuff like that. As a Heyoka, I reflect back, and this will either trigger you or help you. So you will either appreciate my presence or my presence will trigger you. In order to protect myself as an empath, it's important that I try to stay away from people or beware of people who are emotional and live in their emotions and become their emotions. I spoke about that a little while ago. Instead of transmuting their emotions. Also, I have to be aware of energy vampires because they are everywhere. They're literally in my family. Like, they are everywhere. Some people, they just have no idea that they're energy vampires. They just feed off of you because you are high energy. I've learned to create boundaries in my life. I know that there are people in my family that do not appreciate the boundaries that I put into place. They don't appreciate it at all. It irritates them, actually, because they knew me one way and then I healed from being that one way. And for me to remain healed and sane, I had to create boundaries and learn how to say no to people. So that irritates people a lot. When you start to heal yourself, it triggers people. So I set boundaries in place. There are people that don't appreciate it at times, but I'm a catalyst. So my hope is that the people that are in my life, my family, my friends, and people I associate with, my hope is that they learn from me. Because I cannot change you and I cannot force my path upon you. So hanging out with me and me mirroring you and helping you heal, I hope to be a catalyst in your life, and you take some of these things and grow and implement them into your life so that you can heal. Now, I create boundaries because it protects my energy and my sanity. Boundaries are so important. I didn't realize how important they were until, probably the last 5 years, but I really became strict about boundaries within the last 3 years of my journey. Yeah, about the last 3 years. I also meditate to take care of my energy, to get into alignment, to ground. take care of my energy body. I also take care of my physical body by doing yoga. I take energy baths, meaning I do sage baths. I use sage, Palo Santo. I also take salt baths, like Epsom salt, Himalayan sea salt, not table salt. That's toxic. That does nothing for you. Okay? I clean my energy field by taking an Epsom salt bath. Sometimes I add some essential oils, stuff like that. I listen to frequency healing music, and I just enjoy the energy. I bathe in the frequencies, the energy, the sound energy, you know, clearing your energy and cleansing your aura, your spirit body is so important. It's so important. If you're new to this, I need to tell you, it's so important. If you're not new to this, you already know it's important. And maybe this is just a reminder for you to get out there and, clear your energy. I also like to go outside when I know that it's a windy day or a stormy day, because I like to wash away stuck energy or attachments using, wind energy from nature. That's a great way to clear. So it's a great way to receive downloads too. So with that being said, clearing, empaths come across as being lazy. Many empaths are considered lazy. People will say that I'm lazy. people in my family, they know I'm not lazy, but they know I have a lot of lazy days. I appear lazy most days. I'm not a lazy person. I'm always up moving and grooving, but I do have a lot of downtime, and I appreciate and honor my downtime. But I don't say that I'm being lazy. I consider it recharging and healing. The only way I can do that is by being alone. So I appreciate being alone. I honor my alone time. And I like to lay down. I like to lounge on the couch. I like to lounge on the floor. It's weird because I like to lay on the floor even though my body hurts. People ask me why I like to lay on the floor. It honestly feels better than laying on the bed or the couch. It's flat, it's hard, and I feel supported by the floor. I have a lot of body pain. I feel like a lot of empaths have body pain. I feel like we absorb so much, and sometimes we just don't know how to do the clearing until, we get a little bit older and we've absorbed so much through our lifetime that we've created some dis-ease in our body, and there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. I feel that that's where I'm at in my time in my life. Anyways, getting back to feeling lazy. I'm not lazy. I consider lounging around as recharging and healing. And again, I like to be alone and I like to just lounge. I'm always emotionally and physically exhausted because I'm absorbing emotions every time I mingle with people. And that includes my unhealed family. That includes my family leaving this house, going out into public and bringing energy back into this house. So I'm always clearing the energy around my house as well. I'm constantly overstimulated, and it really just tires me out. It poops me out. It really does. So that's why I like to lie down, and it's why I like to be alone. I like to be alone with my energy, with my thoughts, to recharge and regain energy. So stop calling empaths lazy and allow them to recharge in peace. Give them space. If you are married to an empath, give your spouse space. With that being said, this is me reaching the end of my video. And all of this was cut out of my first video. So I had already washed my face, changed my clothes and all that stuff. So I'll probably just post up some sort of a picture to cover my face. And with that being said, everybody, happy healing. Just know that if any of this that I spoke about today in this video resonated with you, my advice is to take care of yourself. Self-love. Take care of yourself, because we've neglected to take care of ourselves. Yes, it's good to be service to others, but if you're not healthy and happy, you cannot serve other people. So it's also important to take care of yourself and show yourself love. And don't let people take advantage of you, and stop letting people feed off of you. Stop feeding them your energy. Set boundaries, create boundaries and set them in place. Learn to say no. Yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Okay. And they're going to make you feel guilty for being the person that's saying no when you're the person that always says yes. Are you going to feel guilty? Yes. But you're not going to stay and be guilty and absorb those guilty emotions and let it eat you alive. You're going to say no, and you're going to tell yourself why you said no, because you need to heal yourself, you need to recharge your batteries, and you need to just take a break. You need to take a break. You can't just make people happy all the time. You got to make yourself happy. So take care of yourself. Stop letting people feed off of your energy and using you, and set boundaries in place. Learning to say no is a hard one, and it's the most important one. Also, do what makes you feel good. Even if it's weird, even if it's strange and odd, do what makes you feel good. If dancing in your living room to rock music is your thing, go for it. Who gives a shit what your family thinks? Go for it. If you like to walk in graveyards, go for it. If you like to paint, if you like to, I don't know, what else is weird? Dance naked in the rain, go for it. My point is, just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel good, and honor yourself. And if you know somebody that's an empath, maybe what I said in this video today will help you understand them more. And this way, it can change your perspective of your friend or family member. I love you. Happy healing.